fields that I have worked in. So I could know a lot more than I needed to know, well, not that I needed to know, I take that back. So I could be very much more experienced in the field that I was working in the best way I can, knowledgeably. Okay, so when I speak of certain things, it's because you know, like I keep saying, you have to be your own advocate. You have to educate yourself. There's no other way. You can't just take everybody's word for everything. Because if you did that, like common sense, fucking listen to everybody, please. Be fucked up out here, okay? Be fucked up. So I'm just gonna show you something where my first thing was the anatomy of the body, your anatomy of your body, your skeletal system, your muscular system. That was a big interest in me because when I had my son, he first broke his wrist at a very young age, and I stopped buying bump beds. I do not recommend bump beds for kids because he jumped off thinking he was Superman, and he thought he was Superman and he could jump off the top bunk onto his lounge chair in the room, and he broke his wrist, and it was totally dislocated. This was here and this was here. Total zigzag. That made me, being a mother in the medical field, I didn't really know what to do. My reaction of that day in the hospital was, you would have thought my child was dying. His father had to take over and they had to remove me from the situation. It was that bad. So it dawned on me at that moment, I need to be able to control myself, because if I put myself out there in the medical field and I get caught into a situation like that, I don't want to react like that. And yes, that's my child. So yes, I probably did react a lot more. Well, of course you will act a lot more than if it was somebody else, a patient. You know what I mean? But you never know. It still is a stepping ground stone for you to realize and say, hey, this is how I reacted. Whoa, I need to be able to control myself, because even though it was my child, I don't want to react like that in front of my child, because that would make my child react even more worse and be more paranoid and not feel safe or feel like everything's going to be okay. So this book I read. I read this book and I educate myself through this book. The skeletal system. So that's the skeletal system. My next tab here, I'm going to try my best to show you guys. And I don't know if you can hear me greatly. But my next tab here is the muscular system. And I read this stuff and it's just like repetitive. So it's like, once you do things repetitive, it's repetitive here. And that's one thing that I do study, being the fact that I do have a mental disorder. You know, I am bipolar. I've been diagnosed bipolar. It took a few tests for them to do that. But anyway, I think it runs in my freaking family, if you ask me. If you people know us, I think we're all fucking bipolar. But anyway, I studied that. I studied the mental system, and that's here in my blue tabs. Let me find it. It's in my blue tabs. And it starts with the nervous system. The nervous systems, they're like transformers. Okay? People need to understand. I'm going to do a whole blog about this. Your nervous system is transformers. So sorry, transmitters. It all starts here. What functions? How do our hands and our arms move, and how does our eyes blink and our mouths, and we could do this and we could do. Yeah, I missed that. That was like one of my favorite fucking things. It's like my treat. How does our body functions? It all starts here in your nervous system, in the brain. It's transmitters that transmit through your body. So if, and anyone out there could correct me, who is a brain surgeon, can tell me I am correct. Okay. It all starts from here. So if someone has a brain injury, and if you ever known someone who may have had possible a brain injury, or if a doctor thinks that you may have injured your head in a certain way, you always realize that they want to look here. They want to see if you can do this. They want to see if you're able to do this, because they are testing the nervous system in the brain. And then they send you for a CAT scan of the head to make sure everything is stable and everything is fine. That's how it works. I'm not a doctor, but I educate myself. And that's what doctors do. They just go to school for it, but doesn't mean you can't do it. They read books just like us. You go to the store and get books just like